they're making their way inside beautiful Camden Yards. The Mariners and the Orioles getting set for the third and deciding game of this three-game series. We look down iconic Utah Street just beyond the right field fence, the very close distance right field fence. Mariners and the Orioles wrapping up the series here today under what's looking to be a little bit of sunshine here from Baltimore, Maryland. Glad you can join us as always for Mariners baseball on Root Sports. And Mike Campbell, we take a look at the lineup penciled in by Scott Service today.
Robinson Cano, an 11-game hitting streak against the Orioles, so hopefully that will continue. Kyle Seager in the last 19 games hitting .397 with 4 home runs. He has been a hot hitter. Steve Clevenger, the former Oriole, getting a chance to get a start this afternoon, so hopefully he'll have a nice day against his former team. Take a look at Tyler Wilson, 2-1 record, a 2.93 ERA, and 30 2/3. Again, he started the year in the bullpen, making his 5th start. He has 15 strikeouts, 7 walks. Opponents hitting .224 off of Wilson. And a look at the defense brought to you by American Family Insurance. Ryan Flaherty getting his first start in the outfield, out in right field against the Mariners. Pedro Alvarez getting the start at third base. And then Caleb Joseph will do the catching this afternoon. Take a look at the last outing for Wilson. 7 innings. This is against the Twins. 7 innings, 6 hits, just 2 earned runs. Really pitched well. 1 walk, a couple of strikeouts. Again, not an overpowering pitcher. He did throw 95 pitches in that outing, so they have him stretched out to probably go to 100, maybe a little more than that.
He has taken the spot of Giovanni Gallardo in the rotation. We remember Gallardo from last year with Texas, their opening day starter, but he's on the DL with the shoulder injury, so it has been Wilson to step in and fill the void. And he comes home with the first pitch strike to Aoki to get things going here today.
And that first fastball, 89 miles an hour, and that's where he'll be, 89, 90, trying to sink the ball. Best off-speed pitch is going to be his slider.
Aoki goes after the second pitch and will reach a leadoff single for Nori Aoki.
Well, we'll take a closer look at Tyler Wilson, opponent's average, and the velocities. We talked about the slider. Look at that, just a 136 batting average against. You'll also see his changeup doesn't throw that quite as much as his slider, and his fastball 263 average, and again averaging right around 90 miles an hour. And this is the fastball up in the zone, and that's what you're looking for off of Wilson. And he was going to try to keep it on the ground. If he elevates it for you, may as well try to hit a line drive.
Aoki leading things off with a single. First time the Mariners have had Aoki reach to lead things off in this 3-game series. And it clears the plate for Seth Smith. Tough night last night for Smith, 0 for 4 in game 1 of this series. Seth reached base 3 times. He scored each time he was on base. Now, Mike, I think this is our 4th weather day of the year.
4th weather day, yes.
Is that in the game notes?
It was a nice crowd they had here today for weather day.
A very vocal crowd. A lot of kids here from local schools. Never have there been more school buses in a big league parking lot than here today. They're scattered around here. Keeping an eye on Aoki. Wilson, 26 years old, out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Today is just his 10th career major league start. Made his major league debut a year ago. In fact, a year ago tomorrow here at Camden Yards against the Mariners. Pitched in relief. 0-2 is they wanted an appeal down to third base, but the home plate umpire today, Carlos Torres, took care of it himself. In fact, if you go back to Wilson's major league debut last season against the Mariners, the man that he is facing at the plate right now is the first hit that he gave up in the major leagues. It was a single by Seth Smith in the 9th inning last year. Aoki leads at first. And it's 1-2.
And back-to-back changeups. Throws a lot of fastballs, right around 63% on the year. Changeup only 15% of the time. Slider right at 21. I think you will see his changeup a little bit more today just because of the amount of left-handed hitters in the lineup for the Mariners.
Now, this is kind of an interesting game from the standpoint of both starting pitchers today. Wilson and Nathan Karns, who we'll see in the bottom of this first inning. Both are 3-pitch pitchers, and you don't normally see both guys coming in with just 3 pitches. Wilson, as we mentioned, had been the long man of the bullpen before joining the rotation. And Smith rung up. Just gets in there for a strike. Looking at a fastball.
And after a couple of change-ups away from him, throws his fastball at 90 miles an hour, trying to get to the inside corner, right at the knees.
Wilson entered today not with a whole lot of strikeouts and not a terrific ratio at that. 7 walks, 15 punch-outs over about 31 innings. He's not necessarily a strikeout guy. Now faces Robinson Cano with 1 out and 1 on. Goes after the first pitch. Davis tries to hold on to it. He will recover and get Cano for round number 2. He's hoping for a chance for double play. Davis was, but instead they'll settle for 1. Aoki survives it as at second.
Cano has been hitting the ball hard the entire series, and this is no exception. You see, go right off the heel of the glove of Davis. Good news for the Mariners, though. Aoki gets himself into scoring position.
Well, this was a problem last night for the Mariners, Mike. 1 for 12.
Yeah, the first game of the series they were 5 for 8, and it seems that it's been that way this year for the offense. They're scoring a lot of their runs by hitting the ball out of the ballpark. You can see Nelson's having a good series, 4 for 6 with a home run, but hitting with runners in scoring position, it seems, Aaron, that they'll get that average to 240 and then it'll drop back down again. So they've been inconsistent with it.
We've seen that over the first 2 games.
I will give Chris Tillman a lot of credit for that last night. I thought he made some exceptional pitches when he was in a little bit of trouble at times. I thought he really threw the ball well against the Mariners, and he'd been a hot pitcher for them coming into it.
Yeah, we knew his numbers on paper looked great entering that start last night. And the Orioles have now won each of Tillman's last 6 starts. Aoki at second base. A long pause in the 0-1. Up the middle for a base hit. Aoki getting waved in. The Mariners take an early 1-0 lead with 2 outs. And after the struggles last night, the Mariners pick up a hit with a man at second base.
Looks like a pretty good pitch. Fastball, 90 miles an hour, right on the outside corner. And Nelson, I think, gets this off towards the end of the bat. He does. Finds the hole right back up the middle, and for Nelson Cruz, that is his 27th RBI.
Only man with more on the team, Robinson Cano. Of course, Robbie leads all of baseball in RBIs. So some serious run production between those two so far this year, as Felix's hair is making a cameo this morning. Here is Seager with 2 outs.
I think you mentioned it in the first game of the series, but you're talking about Cano and Cruz and their RBI total. Kyle Seager sneaking up on him, and if you consider that he basically spotted the league the first 3 weeks of the season because he was struggling so badly, he's done a lot of damage over the last month. Good series, 3 for 5 with a home run. You see the 3 RBIs, but 8 home runs on the year.
Seager had only 1 official at bat in last night's game. He walked his first 3 times up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And he picked up a base hit.
Good night.
Yeah, you're going well when you have the chance to swing the bat 1 time and you still pick up a hit.
He hardly saw a strike last night, truthfully. The shift on. Scope bobbles it. Cruz stumbles around second base as the Mariners have 2 on with 2 outs, a 2-out error.
A rare error for Baltimore.
That was Alvarez over there in the shift. They swung him way over.
They've done that in this entire series. Machado, the shortstop, they just leave him on the left side of the infield. Mariners used to do that with Kyle Seager, but now Kyle stays on the left side. But the Baltimore Orioles, #1 fielding team. That's just their 16th error on the year.
You know, Mike, I wonder what the strategy is. We know that Machado, leave him on the left side because he can cover everything. But the thought process of putting Alvarez in the shotgun there as opposed to putting him closer to second base, because I mean Alvarez is a guy who came up as a third baseman, lost his job in Pittsburgh because he couldn't handle that position. The Pirates last year putting him at first base, and so now you're putting a man on an island out there in shallow right field. Not sure if that's easier or more difficult than playing closer to second base.
I would think that that would be, out of all of it, outside of playing first, if he had to play one of the other 3 positions where he's at, it would be the easiest.
The solo man in shallow right.
Yeah.
And is that because,
as a former infielder, if I'm looking at that thinking which of these positions would be the easiest, that would be the easiest for me.
The opposite way from Lynn's bat. Rickard doesn't have to move. The Mariners get a run in on RBI number 27 of the season for Nelson Cruz, giving Nathan Karns some early run support. The first Mike having a look at the Orioles lineup.
Tough lineup to pitch to here in this ballpark. Manny Machado off to a great start, 318 with 11 home runs. You can see Adam Jones, they've been able to handle him 0 for 7 in this series. And then Mark Trumbo, big home run yesterday, ended up in 2 for 4 in last night's ball game for Trumbo. He has 12 home runs on the year. Take a look at Nathan Karns. Again, he's pitched well as of late. 3-1 record, ERA at 3.5. He has 43 strikeouts in the 41 innings, 18 walks. Want to stay away from the walks, especially in this ballpark. Opponent's hitting .239 off of Karns.
Faces Joey Rickard, today's left fielder. He's been the leadoff man each and every game in this series. Now, Mike mentioned Karns pitching well lately. 4 straight quality starts for Nathan Karns. An ERA beneath 2.5 in that stretch, and opponents hitting .213 against him. Not squaring him up very well. Karns behind 2-0.
Look at Karns this year. His average fastball velocity now is up to 93 miles an hour. At the beginning of the year, he was at 91. So really been throwing the fastball well. At times we'll see him hit 95.
Yeah, and to be fair, Mike, I'm almost surprised that it's not higher than 93. We've seen a couple of starts, especially when he was in Houston, where he was punching 96 and even 97. Well, 96 a number of times, 97 here and there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's more where he's at now. At the beginning of the year, there were a lot of 91, 92, so they're offsetting that. But eventually, if he continues throwing with that kind of velocity, you're going to see it. He'll be at 94 to 95, somewhere in that neighborhood. His best off-speed pitch is his curveball, and he likes to throw it a lot. He'll throw it about 39% of the time, mix in an occasional changeup.
Full count to Rickard to lead off the Orioles' first inning. Got him swinging
on the curveball, and a good one. Take a look at the defense, brought to you by American Family Insurance. Martin, another spectacular catch in last night's ball game. Seth Smith getting the start in right field in all 3 games so far. Robinson Cano been out at second base just about every single day. Adam Lynn getting the start at first. And Steve Clevenger getting a start behind the plate against his former team on Friday against the Angels. No decision for Carnes. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs. Threw 95 pitches in that last outing.
First pitch on the way home to Machado. Carnes today working with an extra day's rest because of the off day following that last start against the Angels. Carnes was saying that his changeup these days, Mike, has been really dancing on him, and asked him what he meant by that. He said that it's having a tendency to fade, and then when he tries to correct that, he ends up cutting it. So that's a pitch that it seems like he's trying to firm up the handle on a little bit more.
Stick with the fade. The cut changeup ends up in the middle of the plate. Typically will find the barrel. So I understand what he's doing. He's trying to make adjustments so that he can throw more strikes. But we'll take a look at his average and velocity. And you can see his curveball is his best pitch. Opponent's hitting just 194. Talked about his fastball averaging at 93. And then there's the changeup, a 364 average. It has not been good for him.
Clevenger wants it up high, and it's ball 2. The nature of the changeup is to fade, is it not?
Depends on who you talk to. Some pitchers, they want to throw it in the middle of the plate and just have the bottom fall out of it, which Felix can do. Felix can also turn it over and fade it. But just depends on the pitcher and what kind of changeup they want to throw. It's really, it can be different. I think sometimes if you turn it over and it is moving too much, which is what Nathan is talking about, that can be a problem because it really doesn't do a lot for you. Although he throws a pretty firm changeup too. It's not too far off of his fastball. So
86-87.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Machado with the bases empty and 1 out.
I think if he continues with that type of changeup, though, it'll be a good pitch for him to get the ball on the ground when he gets into some trouble, just because of the downward movement of it. And he can run it away from the lefties, which you would hope they would roll over on that pitch a little bit more.
Machado 11 home runs on the season, batting just south of 320. Martin coasting to his right on number 2.
Well, that looked like a pretty good changeup.
2 up, 2 down brings in Adam Jones. Carnes now 28 years old, out of Arlington, Texas. He makes his offseason home in Houston. Facing Jones, the number 3 hitting center fielder.
I'm going to have to ask Mel Stottlemyre about Carnes and his 3 pitches. One of the things they did with Taijuan Walker. Now, Taijuan did throw the cutter to change his cutter into a slider. I wonder if that's something that he sees in the future for Nathan Carnes, picking up the slider.
Interesting you bring that up. Nathan said today that, as we see Mel Stottlemyre Jr., that's the pitch, the cutter or a slider, that they're working on in the bullpen as a possibility.
Okay.
Made it sound like that's not something that we're going to see anytime soon, but tinkering and a chance in the future.
Yeah, I didn't think so, because if you look at Nathan and the way that his season has gone, the first thing that Mel Stottlemyre, and they've worked hard on it, was to get him back in the strike zone, and now he's there. I think you leave him alone and let him go, especially since he's throwing the ball so well. And
we really saw that same philosophy with Rick Waits and Roenis Elias. Elias was a 3-pitch guy, and that was the hurdle from keeping Elias, now with the Red Sox organization, to picking up the 4th pitch. They really just wanted him to be able to command the strike zone with all of his pitches that he currently had before adopting a 4th.
Yeah, and I think right now they have his bullpen sessions in between his starts, talking about Nathan Carnes, is something now that they've figured out. I think it's something that they will do every time. It'll be very consistent for him, and that's the reason why he's so consistent as of late, especially with his fastball command. So maybe it's time to start mixing that in a little bit more. But that's the first thing that you have to take care of. You have to, especially at this level, you have to be able to command your fastball. And we've seen it doesn't matter how hard you throw necessarily. You may get away with it a little bit more often if you're like Taijuan Walker and you can throw 95 to 97. But eventually that's going to catch up to you.
Full count on Adam Jones. Right back to Carnes. Side retired in order. Carnes helping his own cause. We are off to the second. Mariners an early lead. Our Big Fish Casino big catch, and Nathan Carnes didn't have much time to even blink.
Line drive right back at him off the bat of Adam Jones. Jones now 0 for 8 in the series. A good position to field it though. Adam almost hit it right into his glove. Didn't have to move it very much, but a fine play. Gets him off the field and out of the inning.
Carnes 19 pitches in a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. We start the second. And the former Orioles Steve Clevenger will lead things off. Clevenger was born and raised here in Baltimore. Went to high school in Baltimore, Maryland. Drafted by the Cubs back in 2006. Was then traded over to the Orioles. Spent parts of 3 years in the big leagues with Baltimore. It's very familiar surroundings here, both from his days growing up and playing here inside Camden Yards for the Orioles.
Haven't really had a lot of opportunity to play, but he was my pick to click. I went with Lou Piniella today. Lou Piniella always used to put the guys in the lineup against their former team. Seemed to work out for Lou, so I figured why not.
Ever work for you?
Yeah. Play against the Yankees. We made sure that I was in there. Yeah, it was fun.
Rickard drifting back nearing the track, and a casual catch route number 1. Well, from here it'll be on to Cincinnati taking on the Reds. A little interleague play over the weekend. Iwakuma making what will be his 10th career interleague start tomorrow against the former Oakland A Dan Straley. Then it'll be Felix versus the southpaw John Lamb. Wade Miley, who pitched so well the other night, going up against Big Pasta Alfredo Simon. That is a look at our CenturyLink What's Next coming up from Great American Ballpark.
Simon having a tough year. ERA over 10.
Last night another tough loss for the Reds. They fell in 12 innings, 8-7 to the Indians. 1 ball and 1 strike to Marte. Have a chance to see Brian Price, old Mariners pitching coach, skipper for the Reds.
Tough times for him right now.
Into right field, Flaherty. Now there's a lot of talk last year as to how long Brian Price would be in Cincinnati. You look at that roster that he was given to manage. And it's like, what are you going to do with that? It's tough. Huge contract to Joey Votto. And as of yesterday, Votto was hitting .213 on the season. And Jay Bruce has hit some home runs this year. The bullpen has been just awful. It is, as we were talking about last night, it is on the pace of being historically bad for the Reds this season, which for a pitching coach in Price cannot be a fun thing.
I was thinking exactly that. That has to be the most frustrating part of it. A very good pitching coach, by the way. And to have the worst element of his team basically be the pitching is tough.
Gotta be. Last night the bullpen gave up the lead in the 9th and then gave up the game in the 12th. 2-0 to Martin. 2 outs, the base is empty. Mariners got a run in the first inning. Nelson Cruz an RBI single up the middle. Now Brandon Aoki, who led the game off with a single of his own. Last night Martin connected on what was home run number 6 on the season, which for him is ahead of his overall career pace. He's 2 shy of his single season high. Hit 8 bombs back in 2013.
Well, he should get a pretty good fastball to hit. Gets himself into a hitter's count, 3-1. You look at Wilson. He's behind in the count. He'll throw his fastball 73% of the time, so there's a good chance he'll get one.
Joseph setting up outside. Fastball spoiled foul. In fact, if you think about Martin's numbers last year, it turned out to be an injury shortened season for Leonis with the Rangers. A broken hamate bone. Played in just 95 games last season for Texas. Martin hit 5 homers in 95 games last year. He has hit 6 homers in 37 games this year. Here comes a 3-2. And Martin will take a walk. A 2-out walk to the number 9 hitter. This season, former and current members of the U.S. Armed Forces are able to take advantage of the EQC military discount. With a military ID, you'll receive 10% off select seats at nearly every home game. Tickets are available only at the Safeco Field box office. Two outs and a man aboard, and back at the top of the order, here is Aoki.
How many pitches do you think it's going to take before Martin tests the backup catcher and Joseph?
Martin now 7 steals and 9 tries on the year.
Have 2 outs. May as well take a chance. If he gets thrown out, you have your leadoff hitter starting the next inning.
Keeping an eye on him. Now, so far this year, Joseph has allowed 14 steals in 18 tries against him. Softly popped up just out of the infield. Machado making sure Rickard keeps his distance, but it'll be Rickard to make the catch. Runner stranded, a 2-out walk by Martin. He's left at first. We go to the bottom of the second. Carnes coming back out to get to work. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting Kenny Rogers, the Gambler's Last Deal, July 8th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Just outside Camden Yards, fine work by our own Kevin Voch. Working the wireless camera for us here today, and every day it seems like. Chris Davis stares at strike one.
Mariners have the shift on with Davis hitting. Davis hitting .250, 9 home runs, 25 RBIs on the year.
Two balls and a strike. Carnes is the second right-hander to pitch for the Mariners in this series. We saw Miley, the southpaw, in game 1. Taiwan last night in game 2. Very high and very foul. On the season, the Orioles have really had their way with right-handed starters and right-handed pitching overall, batting .281. A lot of kids up in the upper deck today. Another day earlier on. Only the Red Sox are hitting right-handed pitching better this season than the Orioles.
Well, it shows in their record they're 19-9 against right-handed starters this year.
Seen a number of full counts early on here today from Carnes. In fact, Davis, the 4th batter that he's facing, he's run a full count to now 3 of the first 4 that he's faced. Cutting down a tree. Davis down swinging at a pitch up and out of the zone.
.92-mile-an-hour fastball, as Aaron mentioned, out of the strike zone. Gets him to chase it. They've been trying to pitch him up in the zone the entire series. As we take a look at the average and slugging against Nathan Carnes. On his curveball, 194, slugging just 292. His fastball, 246 average, not too bad. Again, he's still working on that changeup. At the start of this series, Baltimore was the #1 home run hitting team. Now they're second, behind the Rays. Does that surprise you at all?
Absolutely. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think the Rays saw that coming. Especially when you consider that Logan Morrison just hit his first.
Right.
And if somebody would tell you that the Rays would be leading baseball in home runs at this point of the season, or the American League, you would think, well, Lomo would have his share, right?
Yeah, exactly. 58 home runs for the Rays, 57 for Baltimore, 53 for the Mariners.
1-2 on Trumbo now. When we saw Tampa Bay in Seattle, the Mariners swept the Rays. Almost all of their runs in that series came on the long ball. Strike 3 call. Another good curveball from Carnes. He punches out the first 2 men, Davis and Trumbo.
There's a look at the knuckle curve. We'll see a lot from right-handed hitters. They will just freeze. Pitch in the middle of the plate.
In steps Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, with 2 outs and the bases clean. Goes after first pitch fastball. Right back up the middle for a base hit. First hit today for the Orioles. First man to reach base. Carnes sat down the first 5.
Fastball up, out, over the plate. Again, 92 miles an hour, and he hits it right past Nathan Carnes. We saw him make the catch off of Adam Jones in the first. Wasn't able to catch that line drive.
Here is Pedro Alvarez, his first year with Baltimore. Alvarez had a monster season back in 2013 with the Pirates. Was an All-Star, a Silver Slugger Award winner, 36 home runs, led the National League. Former second overall draft pick out of Vanderbilt. That was back in 2008. For Carnes, today marks his 5th career start against the Orioles. He faced them 3 times last year with Tampa Bay when he pitched in the American League East. And really, especially his last 2 starts a season ago against the Orioles went very well for Carnes. He combined to spin 11 scoreless over those 2 starts with 11 strikeouts. Only allowed 3 hits to the Orioles in his final 2 starts a season ago against Baltimore. Both those starts coming last May. Two-out Scope at first base after the single. Funny when we think about last night's starter and tonight's starter for the Mariners. Last night, Taijuan Walker, 23 years old. Last night was Taijuan's 45th career Major League start. Nathan Carnes, 28 years old. Today is Nathan's 39th career Major League start. So Taijuan Walker,
very young.
Very young. More starts in the big leagues than Carnes. Nathan's career path through the minor leagues was not an easy one. Was very seriously injured with his shoulder, had to miss over a year of time in the Nationals organization. Had to battle back, eventually won the Nationals Minor League Player of the Year award or Pitcher of the Year award after really almost being forgotten by the Nationals just because he wasn't healthy enough to be on the field for such a long amount of time. Traded to Tampa Bay, fought his way up into that rotation after just a couple of starts with the Rays 2 years ago. Last year was one of their top performers in the rotation, and then coming over in a trade this offseason to the Mariners.
Do you find that at times you have to remind yourself how young Taijuan Walker is, especially if he goes out and he struggles in an outing or things aren't going particularly well, that you have to remind yourself that he's only 23 years old?
And all that he's already been through.
Yeah. I think it's easy to forget that sometimes, especially now that he's gaining experience and time. You forget that he was here when he was 21 years old.
Right. Still a full count to Alvarez. Well, and it can be so tempting from a fan's point of view too when you see Taijuan, when he goes out there and say he goes 8 shutout innings and he punches out 10, to think that, well, this is just how it's always going to be.
Yeah, I have to remind myself at times. But you know, the thing that he's learning, I think, is that he's not always going to have 97. Some days he's going to go out there and his fastball is going to be 92, 93 miles an hour. These guys don't have their best stuff all the time.
Jammed him, but a lot of carry. Off the wall. Scope comes around. Alvarez is into second, and we're tied up.
See the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, an impressive swing because this pitch is in off of the plate. See him really pull his hands in towards his body, just fighting to get the barrel to it. Skies it out to right. It's about halfway up the wall in right field. I was closer to going out than I thought when I initially saw it.
And when you saw that swing and how tight in he had to bring his hands and how much he was jammed, for it to get that deep and that high out was pretty impressive.
Well, I agree, especially as high as he hit it.
First pitch to Caleb Joseph, the catcher. Now we're seeing the pitch count start to climb a little bit for Carnes. 40 pitches to get his first 5 outs of the day. This coming on the heels of striking out the first 2 men that he faced in this inning. And 2 guys you want to keep off, well, not so much off the bases, but just keep them in the yard, in Davis and Trumbo. Overall, not many at-bats this year for Joseph, the backup catcher. He's got Pedro Alvarez in scoring position to go ahead and run. Seager's play, and that'll end things in the bottom of the second. A run in for the Orioles. RBI double from Alvarez has tied this game up at 1 apiece on what is looking to be an absolutely beautiful day here from inside Camden Yards. Coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll take a look at Yu Darvish. 4 rehab starts so far this year, 14 innings in ERA beneath 130, 15 punchouts and only 5 walks. Darvish scheduled to go 6 innings or 90 pitches on Sunday on what will be his final tune-up coming off of Tommy John surgery, and that'll make that Rangers rotation even tougher.
Maybe even help the bullpen out a little bit, just because he'll be able to stay in the game a little bit longer. Their bullpen has really struggled.
Here comes the 1-0 to Seth Smith. Tyler Wilson making his 5th start of the season here today. Just gets a piece to make it 1-2. Wilson was one of the rare few who pitched for 4 years in college instead of the usual 3. He actually was part of that really very good Virginia program for a number of years. Pitched or played alongside former Mariner John Hicks, who we saw make his major league debut last year, a catcher drafted by the Mariners. Also Chris Taylor, Mariners infielder, teammates with Wilson in college. Count 2-2 to Seth Smith to start the top of the third. Strikeout number 2 for Wilson. Both have gone to Smith.
He's got a pretty good changeup today. Average and slugging against Wilson. We talked about a slider, the 136 average. You can see slugging 318. So if he makes a mistake with it, you can do some damage. Changeup 167. Slugging 408 off of his fastball. And you can see the circle change. Pretty good movement on it, down and away. If you look at his overall numbers, typically he'll use his slider more than his changeup, but again, because of all the left-handed hitters the Mariners have in the lineup, using his changeup more.
Lefties have hit Wilson at a higher average than right-handers, as you can imagine, being a right-handed pitcher himself. However, he's given up only 4 extra base hits to left-handed hitters on the season as Cano takes again, makes it now 1-1. All 3 of the home runs that Wilson has coughed up this season have come against right-handed hitters.
Well, you take a look at his last outing against Minnesota, where he went 7 innings and threw 95 pitches. He only gave up 6 hits in that outing, 1 home run. I'm thinking that he probably started dialing that changeup up and really starting to throw it well, and had a pretty good feel for it coming into the game today.
He's ahead of Cano, 1-2. Well, this has got to be, Mike, the most extreme shift we have seen against Robbie all season.
I agree. And again, if you look at this series, he's hit the ball all over the ballpark. In fact, he's hit the ball the other way probably more than he's pulled it.
The other way. Rickard able to slow up and make the catch. Two up, 2 down, and it brings in Nelson Cruz, who has driven in the lone Mariners run so far today. That was a 2-out RBI single in the first inning. It was a colorful BP, or time in the cage, today for Nelson and for Robinson Cano. They broke out their spring training Superman and Robin, as in Batman and Robin t-shirts, Mike. They
had their capes on.
They had the capes on, looking good. We saw that a number of times in Peoria this spring. They have the extreme shift on for Cruz now.
I think it's great. You can see the picture that I saw of it. You can see that they're having a good time with it. It's all in fun. Again, they actually did have capes on. But you had a lobster bib on at the start of the series too, so
technically a crab bib, but I see where you're going with that.
Okay.
The 0-2. Ball and 2 strikes. I think Kremen still has his bib on. For the flight over to Cincinnati. Down swinging. 3 up, 3 down. Wilson gets his 3rd strikeout. A gorgeous day here from Baltimore. Mariners and the Orioles even 1 apiece. Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. By Northwest Chevy Dealers, new face of Strong, the 2016 Chevy Silverado. By BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. And by Frontier Communications, providers of next generation Fios TV and internet. First pitch missing to Ryan Flaherty, the number 9 hitting right fielder for the Orioles. Native of Portland, Maine, Charlie Furbush's hometown. Former first-round draft pick by the Cubs. Although Charlie would get hung up on technicalities, I believe Charlie is South Portland, Maine. She is very firm in making sure everyone knows that. Noki's got a beat on it. Out number 1. So Carnes has faced the starting lineup one time through, back to the top, facing Joey Rickard. When you look at the first 7 starts for Carnes this season, Mike, by and large, a lot of consistency there. Even his splits are pretty even to lefties and righties. We've seen that basically every time he's out there, he's good for at least 6 innings. We have not seen him, however, go extremely deep into a game, really beyond that 7-inning mark. And we've said it before, and Carnes is well aware of it. It seems like the next step for him is stretching out those, call it 95 pitches, and being able to get another 3 or 4 outs with him.
No, I think that you're right. And the 7 innings against Houston was back in April. His last couple of outings, he's pitched into the 7th inning, going 6 1/3. But as you mentioned, with his pitch count, some 3-2 pitches. He had Alvarez, an 8-pitch at bat before he doubled off the fence.
About as slow of a curveball as Carnes will throw. 76 miles an hour, 3-1. Just misses. Rickard struck out on a curveball back of the first. On a 3 punch out so far today from Nathan Carnes. Manny Machado 0 for 1, a fly ball out to center field in the first inning, on deck. Still 3-2. Rickard from Las Vegas, Rule 5 draft pick from Tampa Bay. Was part of that 2012 College World Series champion team from Arizona. The Wildcats winning it all. Rickard was a part of that. Smith and Martin, and it will be Seth to make the catch for out number 2. Now we'll take a glance at the Mariners calendar, brought to you as always by Sleep Train. On to Cincinnati, a weekend series interleague play. Great American Ballpark. And then it's back home, 3 against the A's. Oakland winners of their last 4. They're outside of first place by just 4 games. A day off on Thursday. Twins and then the Padres. So a couple of National League foes in the month of May for the Mariners.
Nathan a little bit unlucky in the 2nd inning. Had a couple of strikeouts. Gives up the line drive base hit to Scope. It was hit right past his ear. But then the double by Alvarez, I think because it was hit so high and landed on the wall, bouncing off the warning track, and there were 2 outs. So Scope was able to take off right away when the ball was hit. He scored all the way from first without any issue. And I think Nathan made the pitch that he wanted to. The fastball was in off the plate that Alvarez hit. On a line, Oki won't be able to get there.
2 outs, extra base hit for Machado. Second double today for the Orioles.
And then we'll take a look at it. It's on the changeup, 85 miles an hour, right in the middle of the plate.
Go-ahead run in scoring position for Buck Showalter and the Orioles, and now Carnes facing the number 3 hitter Adam Jones. Carnes today has not consistently started off Orioles hitters with strike one. It's been about 50-50 so far. Two and 0. As we see that curveball coming into Jones, if you look at the splits, we were talking about how right-handers have hit for a higher average against the righty Nathan Carnes, so some reverse splits. It looks like, Mike, the difference has been the curveball. Lefties have not been able to handle his curveball this season. Right-handers haven't fared all that well, but they've hit better.
They've hit better, and you see Machado hit the changeup. I think his changeup is a better pitch to the left-handed hitters.
Go ahead run at second. And a late call there, a strike.
Good pitch. Outside corner. Right at the knees.
Can't place it any better than that. 2-2. Machado a 2-out double. Carnes holds on to it. Well, Nathan sat down the side in order in the first inning. Took 19 pitches, but was able to go through Rickard, Machado, and Jones. In the second and now in the third, both innings he has worked with a runner behind him in scoring position. Breaks his bat. Soft ground ball. Cano scoops. Slings. Out number 3. Carnes able to get out of it with Machado right behind him at second base. We are through 3 innings from Camden Yards. Mariners and the Orioles all even, 1 apiece. history, and this is a good one, Mike. This date back in 1994, Jay Buhner ends up scoring the winning run in the bottom of the 9th inning on what was the inaugural Jay Buhner haircut buzz cut night. Over 500 fans got free admission to that Mariners game when they took down the Rangers 5-4 for buzzing their hair. Now, okay, Mike.
I could not believe the lines for that, by the way.
Just through the out the door
to get their haircut. It was fantastic. Jay had a good time with it. He was out there with the Clippers too, by the way.
Was he really?
It's scary, isn't it?
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
No guard probably. Now, here's the quiz to this Geico This Day in History, Mike, because it involves, well, it involves you. How did Buhner end up scoring that run? Do you remember? I mean, I know you remember every game with great intimacy that you ever played in.
He scored it in the 9th inning.
In the 9th inning
against
Texas.
No idea.
Now we don't have all day for this, Mike.
Yeah, no idea.
You, my friend, drew the very celebrated walk-off walk.
Really?
Yeah.
The walk-off walk. I'll take it.
Now, speaking of the walk-off walk, there was a walk-off walk this year drawn by Buster Posey of the Giants, and it was glorious because he took ball 4. It obviously ended the game. It forced in a run, and Posey bent over and unsnapped his shin guard. and then went to first base. I mean, how great is that? Seager trying to fight the shift. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seager, Lind, and Clevenger.
I thought you were going to tell me that Posey never went to first or something along those lines.
I just thought it was great that he took his shin guard off. I mean, it has to come off eventually, I suppose. He's very formal about it, I guess, is the point. Still 2-2. Seager reached on an error by Pedro Alvarez in the first inning. Alvarez was over in the shift as he is now. He's the tip of the triangle. And into the shift. Scope, the second baseman for out number 1.
We were talking about the Posey thing, and again thinking that he wasn't going to first or something odd. How about this one? Chad Kruder, I believe Richie Amaral is at third. Chad Kruder at the plate. Put on the suicide squeeze. Chad lays the bunt down. Never leaves home plate. Richie slides in safe, win the game.
Never left?
Never left. I don't know if it's because he knew the game would be over if Richie was safe, or if he was just shocked that he was able to get the bunt down. But either way, he never left home.
He wanted to admire his work. That is a good one. They play Lynn straight up. As he skies this out towards center. Jones nearing the warning track, and he's got just enough room for out number 2. Lynn gives it a ride, but 2 up, 2 down, and brings in Steve Clevenger. Jones might go through more bubble gum than anybody not named Terry Francona.
You know, thinking just how close and tight you and Jay are these days.
Well, he does my hair, obviously, so
well,
it all started.
That's what I was getting to. What would it take for him to give you a buzz cut?
Well, I already get.
And if you agree to it, I have to be there.
Oh, you would have to be. I already get free admission to Mariners games, so that's off the table. No incentive there. Maybe give me a truck or something. He gave me a truck.
Okay.
Which I didn't sell back to him. Make him buy it off me. Jones makes the catch for round number 3. 3 up, 3 down, as the Mariners have seen the last 7 hitters sat down in order. We go to the bottom of the 4th, all tied up. Thank you, Ange. Here is Chris Davis to lead off the Orioles' 4th inning. All tied up 1 apiece. Fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. It's funny to go back years ago for Chris Davis when he was with the Texas Rangers. The Rangers had what was at the time a complete logjam at first base. Davis had put up huge numbers in the minor leagues with their AAA affiliate Round Rock, which was a launching pad for home runs. Had struggled a little bit in the major leagues. Still very young hitter at the time. Justin Smoke, Mitch Moreland, Chris Davis. Part of a 3-man weave at first base for Texas. Not room for all of them. Smoke traded to the Mariners. Davis traded to Baltimore. Koji Uehara going to Texas in return. Now a late inning pitcher in the bullpen for the Red Sox. Former closer for the Red Sox before Craig Kimbrell. Moreland has been the man to survive in Texas. And Davis coming here to Camden Yards, it has made for a pretty good fit.
I thought maybe he had a better chance when you talk about that group because he could also play third base. So that you had some options to move him around a little bit.
And you made mention of this, maybe it was in game 1, Mike, for a guy who is known, well, his name's Crush Davis after all, known for a guy who hits a lot of home runs. He really is a pretty nimble first baseman. Strike 3 called. Davis knows it. Looking at a curve, and Davis over 2 has been punched out twice. Well, MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. You can follow the Mariners and everything else around baseball live on your mobile supported devices. MLB.com, the at bat app, MLB.tv. One out, the base is empty for Trumbo as he goes after the first pitch and drops it into right field for a base hit. Booted there by Smith as Trumbo will stay at first. Thought about it. Trumbo, who struck out earlier, jumps on the first pitch this time.
They're starting to be more aggressive on his fastball. First pitch fastball to Davis that he ended up fouling straight back, and then you're going to see this fastball. Pretty good pitch too on the outside corner. Trumbo has been a hot hitter. Trumbo with a couple of hits last night, including a home run.
One out and one on. It brings in Jonathan Schoop, who singled and has scored the lone run today for the Orioles. Schoop really scuffled in April. He hit beneath 220. Did sock 4 home runs, but did not hit for a good average. So far this month, a much different story. He's hitting .310 in the month of May, and he's driven in 12 runs. Well, Mike, I don't think there's any doubt that if this game remains close as we reach the late innings, and especially if the Orioles end up having a lead late, what we saw last night from Zach Britton really affects what's going to happen here today.
No, I would agree. And I think we've talked about it a lot throughout the series with Baltimore and their bullpen, the #1 bullpen in the American League. And I think it's more the back end of their bullpen. When you look at the guys that are going to pitch the 7th, 8th, 9th innings for them, pretty difficult. But especially with Britton. Last night he was 96. I had a chance to watch some more of it after I got back to the hotel last night, and they were showing the highlights of it. And his fastball was moving all over the place. He does not throw a straight 96. He can sink it. He was throwing a cutter, keeping everything down in the zone. Very difficult. And he's perfect in save opportunity. So he's throwing the ball exceptionally well right now.
A 5-out save last night from Britton. You can see him there in the middle. Two balls and a strike to Schoop. And
pretty good fastball. Take a closer look at Nathan Carnes and the pitches that he likes to use to get his outs. There's one out here. If he's trying to get a ground ball, you see he'll use his curveball or his changeup, see if he can get a double play. On his strikeouts, you see how often he throws his curveball at 58% of the time.
Trumbo leaning over at first base, about to take off as this pitch gets fouled away.
He did take off. He took 2 steps towards second, and Carnes hadn't even started towards home yet, and then he stopped. Take a look at Trumbo. He's going to just take off.
On second thought, Trumbo does have a steal this year. Pitch number 75 coming up from Carnes. Marte gets rid of it quickly over to first for the double play. Nicely done getting things started, Ketel Marte. So Carnes, despite a 1-out single, faces the minimum for the second time in 4 innings. As we head to the top of the 5th, all tied up at 1 apiece. Watch the Mariners take batting practice with Mariners team president Kevin Mather right behind the batting cage. Save the date, June 1st, and you could bid on auction items like this during the Mariners Care Charity Night. All proceeds benefit Mariners Care. Ketel Marte leads off the top of the 5th inning. Marte flew out to right field back in the 2nd. Overall today, it seems like, Mike, the Mariners have not had very lengthy at-bats against Wilson. Marte 3 pitches his last time up. We're seeing a lot of guys 2 or 3, maybe 4 pitches. This is not exactly what we've seen overall this season from the Mariners.
No, but I think that's more to Wilson and the stuff that he has today. And you were talking about it at the start of it. He doesn't strike a lot of people out, doesn't walk a lot of guys. His fastball at 89. I think that's a pitch that the guys are pretty comfortable with, and so they're going to put him in play typically early. It's one of the few hitters he's fallen behind 3-0.
His only walk today was to Martin, the man on deck. On a strike, Marte thought that could have been ball 4. It was close. And there is ball 4. So the second walk today from Wilson. And a leadoff walk to start the top of the 5th. Mariners have the go-ahead run with speed at first base. Our CenturyLink What's Next as we head to Cincinnati, Great American Ballpark, a beautiful ballpark tomorrow. Interleague play. Hisashi Iwakuma will get to start tomorrow. He has pitched well against the National League his last few times out. 3 earned runs or fewer in 5 of his last 7 against the NL. Then Felix going up against John Lamb, a lefty, in the middle game of that series. Miley to finish things off. As we take a look at the standings in the National League Central, the Reds right now buried. Easy fly ball to center field for Jones. One out, one on. You know, talking about Felix, we will see him on Saturday. It was interesting hearing Mike Trout talk about Felix after the last homestand when Felix pitched against the Angels on Sunday. Trout said that he was having a conversation with Albert Pujols about Felix Hernandez and how Felix has evolved over the years. And Felix has struck no one out more than Mike Trout, and yet no one has had their way against Felix more than Mike Trout in terms of a batting average. But Trout said to the media, as Aoki steps in and looks at a strike, that he would rather face the Felix Hernandez who threw 95-96 compared to the Felix who is throwing 90-91 with his fastball sinking and cutting, darting all over the place. It made me think of what you were saying about Zach Britton last night, Mike, how Britton had just incredible movement on his fastball, and we've seen Felix have that these days and over the last number of years as well.
Well, when Felix was sitting somewhere between 95 and 97 miles an hour, he was a fastball curveball pitcher, and he had a really good curveball. But now, if you look at him, he has the sinking fastball. He can cut it when he wants to. He has the great changeup. Now the curveball is back in play again, and he has a slider. There's so many more things to think about.
Kid Marte took off as this is weakly grounded to Davis. 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. There is Marte for Seth Smith.
Which is too bad. He had a great jump. But I think as a hitter, Aaron, if you can eliminate pitches, and at that time in Felix's career, you really didn't have to because he was basically a 2-pitch pitcher. And when he was throwing 95, 97, it was fairly straight. So, and you knew you were going to see a lot of fastballs. He was a power pitcher at that time. So I think for a hitter, it makes it a little bit easier. But with everything that he brings to the table now, it's a tough day to square him up because the ball moves so much. And typically when you do, you're going to just beat it into the dirt, hit it on the ground.
4 pitches he can throw, all for strikes.
And they're all plus.
Yeah.
It's not your average curveball, slider, changeup scenario. They're all plus pitches.
Marte, a leadoff walk, advanced to second base on a ground out by Aoki. He is the go-ahead run with some wheels for Seth Smith, looking for his first hit. He struck out twice facing Wilson.
The Mariners are 1 for 2 runners in scoring position. Base hit Nelson Cruz in the first inning when he drove in Aoki.
Now before Marte's leadoff walk, Wilson had sat down 7 in a row. He had retired 10 of the previous 11 hitters that he has faced. He has not given up a hit since the first inning. We've seen a number of fly ball outs here today for Mariners hitters. Wilson has kept Rickard in left and Jones in center pretty busy over the first 4+ innings. You wonder if at one point one of those fly balls might not make it into a glove, might get over the fence. Two balls and 1 strike to Smith, batting second. Marte the go-ahead run. The opposite way with some carry to it. Rickard looking off the wall. Mariners take the lead. Seth Smith hustling into second. He is out. An RBI single from Seth Smith with 2 outs, and it brings in Marte, who led things off of the walk. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Mariners on top 2-1. that wall ball?
Well, the first thing you said, maybe one of the fly balls won't land in a glove, and that's the case right here. Seth Smith hits this ball, drives it, and you can see Marte running. He knows it's going to get over his head, and as soon as he sees it bounce off the wall, he takes off running. When he sees Seth going, that's when he runs hard all the way through the play, and that's important because Seth gets tagged out at second. If he doesn't touch home plate before that happens, you lose that run. So he's running initially, and as soon as he sees Seth come around first to take off for second, he turns it up a notch, and they make sure that he can get past home plate before Seth is tagged out.
Alvarez looks at ball one. That was a great angle that you could see Carlos Torres, the home plate umpire, pointing at home plate.
That it counts, yes.
And has given the Mariners a 2-1 lead as Alvarez leads off the bottom of the fifth.
The thing I liked about it, too, is that Marte had his head up and was paying attention to what's going on. So many times you see base runners, when they assume that they're going to score, they'll just keep jogging in because they know there's not going to be a play on them. But he thought there might be a play on Seth at second, and that's when he took off running hard and was able to get to home plate, understanding what the situation was.
On a 3-0 count now, Clevenger wants to talk things over with Carnes. A quick talk at that.
Alvarez just missed hitting a home run his first time. It was on a fastball in off the plate. He hit it off the top of the high wall in right field. That double ended up driving in a run.
Pours in a strike that time to make it 3-1. Way upstairs, Clevenger up the elevator shaft makes the catch. Alvarez, who's ahead 3-0, Carnes gets him to pop up to the catcher.
And most of the time you would see Kyle Seager call him off, but Kyle was all the way out at the shortstop position because they had the shift on. So a good play by Clevenger to stay with it.
That brings in Caleb Joseph. Joseph getting the start today for Matt Wieters. Day game after a night game. You know, it was just over a year ago when the Orioles played a day game here inside Camden Yards with nobody in attendance, and it was Caleb Joseph who was the starting catcher that day for Baltimore. That was against the White Sox. As you might remember, there was some great civil unrest, to say the least, around Baltimore, and authorities thought that it would be best to have no fans and no chance for any type of a scene outside the ballpark or inside the ballpark. He jams Joseph, fly ball into left field for Aoki. 2 outs, both through the air. Hope you can stick around after the game for Mariners postgame, presented as always by Delta Airlines. Here from Nathan Carnes, so far in run over 4 2/3 innings. Also Ketel Marte, who has scored the go-ahead run in the 5th inning. Got service as well. But Mike, that is believed to be the first time in Major League history that a regular season game has been played with a crowd of nobody. Can you imagine how weird that would be? Or do you think as a player that after the first inning it would just be like any other game? I can't imagine that it would be.
No, it would be strange. And the players, they get more from the fans in the ballpark than you might think. There's an energy to it that they feed off of. And so if the ballpark is completely empty, that would be really strange.
Now there were some fans out on Utah Street, so some distant noise. I remember listening to that game through the At Bat app. We were in Texas, and hearing the radio broadcast with no natural sound other than the crack of the bat, which you could hear very well, by the way.
I'm sure.
But the best part too is you could hear the press box PA announcer over the radio microphones, and when the press box PA, they actually announced the attendance. Of course, 0. More in jest than anything else.
Were they announcing the hitters as they were going to the plate or doing things during the game?
Yeah, they had the organ, they had everything. 7th inning stretch, the whole deal. Not sure if there was much role for the mascot that day. Strike 3 called. Carnes retires his side in order for now the 3rd time of the first 5 innings. New Link Light rail stations on Capitol Hill and at the UW are now open, so plan your trip at soundtransit.org. Light rail here in Baltimore as the Mariners are on top 2-1. We begin the top of the 6th inning. Nathan Carnes has gone 5 innings and exits with the lead. Carnes at 89 pitches. Looks like Nathan is done for the day. Mariners will try to hold this lead, if not add on to it for him. And the first man in charge is Robinson Cano to lead off the Mariners 6th inning. Now we have seen the shift on against Cano, and it is on once again here. You can see his hits by direction as he yanks this into right field, and it's a fair ball into the corner. Extra bases for Cano. That just dropped in fair. Good start for the Mariners in the 6th. Cano with his first hit today, and he has been all about the extra base hits in this series, Mike.
12th double on the season. It's a fastball, first pitch fastball, hits it down into the corner. Extends his hitting streak against the Orioles coming into the game. An 11-game hitting streak, now at 12.
4 of those 12 doubles for Cano have come in this series.
I think, and because of that, I think he just passed Kyle Seager for the most extra base hits in the month of May. I believe they were both tied.
Yeah, Seager had him by 1 entering last night, but Cano doubled in the 8th inning, so they both had a dozen. And now Cano with 13 this month. David Ortiz and Ian Desmond entering last night, both had 11 along with Cano. So Robbie in scoring position.
Nelson Cruz 1 for 2 today. Drove in a run in the first inning. And you mentioned it, the start of the game, the Mariners 1 for 12 runners in scoring position in last night's game, 5 for 8 in the first game of the series, and today they're 2 for 3. Nick Vincent getting loose in the pen.
Joaquin Benoit behind him. Cruz ahead 3-0. We saw in a previous at bat today, Mike, they had the shift on for Nelson, 3 on the left side. No shift this time. Does that have anything to do with Cano at second base?
I talked to Tim Bogar about that, and it's something that the Mariners will do is they'll put the shift on, and it's probably more drastic with nobody on, and then if somebody's in scoring position, they won't move quite as much.
Got it off the hands a little bit, but skies it out towards Jones.
He has a strong throwing arm.
Cano making his way onto third base, and he's in there with a slide, throw off line. So 1 out, a runner at third base and a chance for a sacrifice fly. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. So positioning can, at least for the Mariners, can change dependent upon, yes, where a base runner is, if there is a base runner,
and the hitter,
and the pitcher.
So as you mentioned, although we see a lot of shifting, they're still fairly new and they're still learning a lot about it. But Tim said sometimes the tendency of a hitter with a runner in scoring position is maybe to hit the ball up the middle the other way a little bit more, so they won't shift quite as much.
Infield creeps in as Seager looks at ball one.
Kyle with 24 RBIs on the year.
And in this situation with a runner at third and 1 out, you mentioned Jones, a strong throwing arm in center field. We have not seen Flaherty much in right field. His arm.
We've seen him in the infield.
Right, and Rickard in left field. He played the ball off the wall well.
Strong throw
from Seth Smith.
Yeah, it was a strong throw into second base to get Seth.
We've seen Rickard in right field in this series. Up and in to Kyle, 3-0.
And they're just going to put him on.
I'll start over with Adam Lind on deck. So for Seager, that is his 4th walk in his last 7 plate appearances dating back to last night, and his 5th walk of this series. Runners down the corners, 1 out for Adam Lind. And for Buck Showalter, it sets up a chance for a double play.
Adams hit a couple of fly balls in this one. One to left, one to center. The one to center took Adam Jones up against the fence. And we're talking about trying to get a double play ball, so you're probably going to see his changeup. You can see 63% of the time it will be a ground ball, and that's what he's trying to get right now. First pitch into throwing in the dirt. Good block by Joseph.
And now Joseph talking with Wilson. And Wilson had allowed only 1 extra base hit off of his changeup entering today. And we mentioned it earlier, worth mentioning again here, with 1 out, runners on the corners, and a left-handed hitter in Lind at the plate. Wilson has not given up a home run to a left-handed bat. He has hardly thrown a strike in this top of the 6th. 10 pitches, only 2 strikes. And another one that misses, 2-0. This will prompt a visit from Scott McGregor.
I think this is Dave Wallace.
Dave Wallace, the normal pitching coach.
He was not here for the first couple of games. Gregor was filling in, but he's back.
The bottom line, Mariners fans, whoever I say, it's the other guy. If I say Wallace, it's McGregor. Say McGregor, it's going to be Wallace. Pretty basic trend so far over these 3 days.
Well, this is Dave Wallace. Message delivered. And a good count for Adam Lind. 2-0.
Cano at third base. He reached on a double. He went after the first pitch of the inning. Seager ends up being intentionally walked, is at first. 2-1. Now we talk about how hot Cano has been, how hot Cruz has been. Seager in a full groove, and against right-handed pitchers, this is the guy that Scott Service is really wanting to get cooking with some gas in Adam Lind.
Him to start driving the ball out of the ballpark. He's been picking up some hits lately and just kind of hanging in there, but only 2 home runs. That's going to change. At some point, he's going to hit some in bunches. There's the changeup.
There's no doubt the track record for Lind is there. Last year he was truly one of the best hitters against right-handed pitching, especially in terms of power. Dylan Bundy, have not seen him in this series. Former first-round draft pick getting loose for the Orioles, as Wilson is approaching 80 pitches and is in some trouble here in the top of the 6th inning. 1 out, runners on the corners. Mariners looking to lengthen the lead a little bit. That flutters way outside and high, and a full count. Now Wilson has just kind of suddenly lost command. Clevenger on deck.
Nibbling is what it is. Trying to be too careful at this point in the ball game, and hopefully the Mariners can take advantage of that.
Nibbling, it seems like, rarely results in strikes.
That's a fact.
Chops foul, still a full count.
And typically managers and pitching coaches don't like to see that. Next pitch will be 80 for him.
Buck Showalter now his 7th season here in Baltimore. How he looks, win or lose. Pretty stoic most of the time. The 3-2. Lind high the opposite way. Rickard drifting, running out of room, and it's gone for a home run. Opposite field blast off by Adam Lind, his 3rd home run of the season, and the Mariners cash in here in the 6th inning. They've opened it up 5-1 Mariners.
And maybe this will get him going. It's a fastball, belt high. Going to try to run it off the outside corner. Towering fly ball to left. Wasn't sure that it was going to have the distance as high as he hit it. Maybe that'll get him going.
Clevenger jumps on the first pitch, drives it foul.
Seemed that you had about 15 seconds to make that call, Aaron. It was in the air for a while.
0-2 on Clevenger. So that is the first home run that Wilson has given up to a left-handed hitter on the season. And that really kind of almost had the feel, Mike, of some Nelson Cruz home runs where they're so high, and in this case to the opposite field, that you think, oh, that just can't get out, can it?
Ends up in the 2nd row.
Just enough.
Adam almost hit a home run off of him in his previous at bat when he ended up taking Adam Jones up against the fence in center field.
In play to Davis with a backhand stab for out number 2. When you think about the Mariners today against Wilson, they got a run off of Tyler Wilson in the 1st inning on the RBI single from Cruz, but the Mariners then went the next 4 innings without a hit against Wilson. They drew a couple of walks to get on base. Now they did have the RBI single, pardon me, in the 5th, but 3 straight innings without a hit against Wilson. RBI single by Smith in the 5th inning, and then a double, the intentional walk, and then the home run. First pitch strike to Marte. But we saw Wilson was really getting into a nice groove and was making pretty quick work of a lot of Mariners hitters.
He'd been pitching well, and if you look at his starts, this is his 5th start. This is the most earned runs he's given up in any of his starts. Gave up 3 to Kansas City in his first start of the season when he went 5 innings. After that, it's just been 2 earned runs in each of the next 3. Mariners now put a 5 spot on him.
Ball and 2 strikes to Marte with 2 outs and the bases suddenly empty. Well, the Mariners are hoping to go to 15-7 on the road with a win today. Here comes the 25th pitch of the inning from Wilson. Jammed into the ground. Machado curling. Off balance throw. Not in time. Marte is safe. Now Scope looked like he was motioning right away for Buck Showalter and the Orioles to take a look at this. And they are. Looks safe.
Yep. I don't think they're going to take a look at it. Buck Showalter heads back down into the dugout. Infield hit.
So Marte a walk in the 5th. Now an infield base hit in the 6th. Has reached base twice today. And that extends the top of the 6th inning. This is the 7th Mariners hitter in this 6th, as they now lead it by 4 runs. And a pitch out. Long distance throw to keep an eye there on Marte.
Wilson now at 90 pitches. His season high is 96. That was on May the 4th against the Yankees when he went 6 innings.
And you can see the bulk coming here. 26 pitches in the 6th inning for Wilson. There goes Marte. Throw to second, tag apply, and Ketel is out. That ends the top of the 6th. Adam Lindo does some damage with a 1 swing, a 3-run blast, and it's 5-1 Mariners. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Northwest Chevy Dealers. The new face of Strong, the 2016 Chevy Silverado. By Country Financial, visit ownyourfuture.com. By Shag, where your friends live. And by Steel, to find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealers.com. Adam Lind, home run number 3 on the season. He has given the Mariners a 5-1 lead, a 3-run shot out to left field the opposite way. Nathan Carnes, Mike Dunn for the day.
5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. Didn't walk anybody today. That was a big key to the game, staying away from the walks. 5 strikeouts, 89 pitches. Nick Vincent has pitched well for the Mariners. This will be his 18th appearance, a 1.72 ERA. 20 strikeouts, only 2 walks in 15 2/3. Opponent's hitting 182. His fastball will be 88 to 92. Mix in a cutter with it. He can sink it. Also a slider.
First pitch strike to Rickard. Vincent has been very good this year against right-handed hitting. That's a major reason why Jerry DiPoto went and got Vincent right at the end of spring training. He will face 3 right-handed bats, the top third of this order for the Orioles.
I think it'll be interesting to hear Scott Service when the game is over. When you look at Nathan Carnes today, just 89 pitches. He could probably go maybe 100 in that area. It's I think what they're comfortable with. But to hear what Scott says at 89, taking him out of the game, and he's done this in the past, and it's something that I really like. If he looks at an inning and he doesn't think that the starter that day is going to get through the inning because of where his pitch count is, he'd rather bring the reliever in to start the inning with nobody on base and nothing happening, let the reliever go after it. So I'm wondering if maybe that's kind of his thinking here.
And along those lines, we've seen it with Carnes. As this is put in play, make it foul over third base. Carnes has been fantastic this year for the Mariners. There's no doubt about it. The Mariners have needed him. He has done exactly what Jerry DiPoto was hoping in many ways that he would do since being acquired from Tampa Bay. But after Carnes ends up going through about 5 or 6 innings, more times than not this year, it's been a different story. He started to get hit and get hard, hit hard, and then you're having to pull him out with runners on base.
Right.
Foul once again. And there's no doubt Nathan knows about that. Mel Stottlemyre Jr., Scott Service, the whole crew. Something for him to work on. He knows that. But he has had some outings this year where he is just flat out dealt. I mean, he has.
Yes. When he gets his curveball going, and the previous 2, he wasn't there today. Today he was more 92 with his fastball, but we've seen him at 95, 96 miles an hour with that curveball. It's dominant.
Well, look no further than for Nathan, his strikeout numbers. He's one of 2 Mariners starters this year that have entering today more strikeouts than innings pitched. Taijuan Walker, who we saw last night, is the other, and those numbers have been kept in pace. 5 strikeouts today, 5 innings of work. Seth Smith drifts back after coming in for round number 1. Take a look at the bullpen. What a surprise this bullpen has been so far this season. 2nd in baseball in opposing average. Best in terms of keeping opponents off the base paths. You can see the opponent on base percentage. The whip, walks plus hits over innings pitched. Fantastic. The best in all of baseball. Hits per 9, 2nd. And just simply limiting base runners. The fewest base runners allowed in the major leagues by any other big league bullpen. Very impressive work by Mariners relievers so far this year.
I think a big key to a lot of those numbers, because it's not an overpowering group as far as having a bunch of guys out there that throw 95 plus, which we see a lot in today's game. They all throw strikes. They throw a lot of strikes.
Seth Smith doesn't have to move a whole lot for out number 2. Both fly balls his way. Come watch Kyle Seager and Robinson Cano hit bombs into the outfield seats while wearing your new Mariners bomber hat. They're free to the first 15,000 fans on Friday, May 27th, when the Mariners meet the Twins at 7:10. Log on to mariners.com for tickets. Look at Seager in that hat, wearing it brown.
Looks good in it.
It does. Another strong day today for Kyle Seager. Been a nice series for Kyle. Been a great month for Kyle. 2 outs for Adam Jones.
I was curious just because you were talking about the walks that Kyle has received in this series. And when you go and you really think about the month of April and the struggles that he had, and to see him pushing a .350 on base percentage now, it's pretty good.
It has been a lightning quick turnaround for Kyle. 0-2. Vincent taking over for Nathan Karns. He sent down Rickard and Machado. Facing his 3rd straight right-handed hitter, Chris Davis. Left-handed bat is on deck, so would like to get through this bottom of the 6th without having to face Davis with a man on. And he gets Jones fishing inside the other batter's box. Adam Jones has gone 0 for 8. Pardon me, 0 for now make it 10 in this series. Good work by Vincent. Are you the ultimate Northwest fan of the state of Oregon? Then Root Sports is looking for you throughout the month of May. Submit a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan, and you can win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, a personalized jersey, and a whole lot more, presented by Country Financial. Tyler Wilson done for the day as Mike ends up coughing up 5 runs, all earned over 6 innings.
That big 3-run home run by Adam Lind. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. Had 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 91 pitches.
Here is Dylan Bundy.
ERA just over 2. 7 strikeouts, 6 walks, 13 and a third. Opponent hitting .294. He's yet to give up a home run.
Fires in a first pitch strike to Martin to begin the top of the Mariners 7th. Now Bundy, such an interesting story. Only 23 years old, from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Was the number 4 overall pick back in 2011, the year that the Pirates took Garrett Cole, number 1 overall. Bundy, who was a flamethrower in high school and a little undersized at the time, ended up needing Tommy John surgery, and he was truly one of the top prospects in all of baseball, let alone the top prospect in the Orioles system, and then had to really deal with some shoulder tendonitis, other shoulder issues after recovering from Tommy John. So now in the major leagues, after debuting back in 2012, where he made just 2 relief appearances, even though he was a starter primarily in the minor leagues. Now finally back up to the big leagues and pitching out of the Orioles bullpen. Full count. We are just about a month away from the draft, and no doubt the guys back in Seattle, the front office, are staying busy. Kerry DePoto, Tommy Allison, the whole crew. Tom McNamara. Line drive the opposite way as Martin reaches for the second time. That's his first hit.
It's good to see him on base a couple of times with his speed. Able to get on top of a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's away from him, and he goes the other way.
Leadoff man aboard for Norioki. He singled and scored in the first inning. Bundy fires home a strike. Now the Mariners entered today with a 1-game lead over the Texas Rangers for the top spot in the division. The Rangers have lost 3 in a row. They have had a change in their closer, Sean Tollison, out. Milwaukee spins around 0-2. The Rangers having today off. They were just swept in Oakland by the A's. Texas has now lost 4 of their last 6 games, dating back to that very eventful series at home against the Blue Jays.
With Tollison losing the job, are they going to go to Dyson, or is it going to be a combination of Dyson, Diekman?
It seems like it's Dyson right now. I've heard people talking about Matt Bush, but I don't think just because you throw 100 doesn't mean you should be a closer, especially if you've been in the big leagues for about a week and a half.
Right.
There goes Martin. Throw to second, tag, and the Mariners run into another out.
It looked as if he slipped a little bit when he was taking off. And maybe his right foot. We'll take a look at him. Well, it wasn't too bad.
Now the Mariners on the season now have, I believe, as many stolen bases as they now have caught steals or caught stealing.
We were talking about it with Joseph. He tried to steal 18 times coming into this game, and he'd only thrown out 4 of them. 2 for 2 today.
Get pie to Davis. Route number 2. And you think about it, you brought up a good point off air, Mike. Caleb Joseph has essentially, until game 1 of this series, been the personal catcher for Ubaldo Jimenez. In fact, he caught each of Jimenez's first 7 starts this year, and Jimenez has just been awful in terms of holding base runners. He's given up 7 steals because he's just very, very slow to the plate. The Orioles have tried to work with him on it, and he has not adopted a slide step of any kind, a big windup. So half of those steals against the ledger of Joseph have come in those starts with Jimenez. As it is often said, you don't steal on the catcher, you steal on the pitcher, and there's certainly some truth to that. Tied to the line, a fair ball. Davis scoops it up. Slick fielding work there by the first baseman. Smith is out, and his final leadoff single. The Mariners are retired in order. Time to stretch. Mariners by 4. had Washington's lottery mobile app, this break in the action would be the perfect time to check winning numbers played today. Good aerial view of Baltimore as the Mariners lead things 5-1. We make our way to the bottom of the 7th inning. Adam Lynn had the big blast in this one today. 3-run opposite field shot in the 6th. His 3rd home run of the season. And has given the Mariners a little bit of breathing room. Sean O'Malley has come off the bench as he will take over the duties in right for Seth Smith. Nick Vincent back up on the hill facing Chris Davis. Vincent was able to retire the side in order in the 6th.
Vidal Nuno getting loose in the Mariner pen.
Off of Clevenger. Well, the Mariners now, Mike, in this series have hit 4 home runs. 2 of them in game 1. We saw a home run last night by Martin and then the home run by Lynn. 3 of those 4 home runs have come with at least 1 man on the base paths, which is something we were talking about in game 1. And those runs really start to add up when you can turn solo home runs into 2 or 3 run blasts.
It's the reason why Cruz, Cano, Kyle Seager are on pace to drive in 100 each.
Nelson, 2 strikes.
Nelson Cruz with 40+ home runs last year, and so many of them solo home runs.
About 70% of his home runs last year were solo homers. Count stays put 1-2 to Davis. And we were talking about the American League West. How the Rangers had lost 3 in a row. The Mariners are the only team right now in the division with a positive run differential. Adam Lynn helping that out today with that 3-run homer. The Mariners have a +33, which is one of the best in the league, let alone the division. Take a look at the standings brought to you by Delta Airlines. The Rangers are 22-19 with a -1 run differential. The Mariners holding a 1-game advantage over Texas. The A's have now won 4 in a row. They take on the Yankees tonight. Weak ground ball. Marte over in the shift. 1 down. That brings in Mark Trumbo. Trumbo 1 for 2 today, a strikeout and a single. The Mariners have a better run differential than the Orioles do on the season. When you think about the Orioles, how much they have mashed so far this year, you would think that they would be one of the very best, if not in the game, at least in the league, and they are. They're at +30. The Red Sox right now the best in the American League. That offense for the Red Sox has just been absolutely on fire. They're at +57. Big swing and a miss to make it 1-1. The Cubs right now at 108, Mike.
I'm actually a little bit surprised it's not higher than that.
At 120 by now?
It seemed that they went over 100 about 2 weeks ago.
One thing I could not believe as we see Vidal Nuno warming up. We were talking about how poor this Reds bullpen that we will see starting tomorrow has been. How strong the Mariners bullpen has been by and large this season. Steve Cishek right now tied for the league lead with 11 saves. Cishek has 11 saves. The Minnesota Twins have 2 saves this season. This is a team in the Twins. We'll see them later this month at home. The Twins were a game or 2 away from the postseason last year. It has been just a horrendous start to the season for Paul Molitor.
A lot of people thought they would be in the hunt in the Central.
They're
this
10
year.
and 29.
Yeah.
They have 2 more wins than Chris Sale has. And they have 2. It's almost unbelievable. We are at the quarter pole. They have 2 saves. Trumbo, a little flick into right field. 1 out base hit, his 2nd hit today. Root Sports and Movin' 92.5 are bringing you the first Mariners fireworks night of the season on Friday, May 27th. Enjoy a fireworks display. Sing to your favorite songs in Mariners history, including Hip Hop Hooray and Louie Louie. Visit Mariners.com for tickets. The Twins are without their closer basically all season, Glenn Perkins, an all-star. Maybe for the last 3 years. Perkins has been on the DL since essentially the start of the season. That has not helped, but it appears, just have not been in many save situations, to say the least, this year. Strike 1 to Scope.
I think it was maybe around a week ago, looking at the run differential, and the Cubs at the time I think were right around 102, 104, something like that. And I was looking at it, and they had at that time a better run differential than the Atlanta Braves had scored runs.
Really?
Yeah. Atlanta 10-29 on the year.
Mike, that's good work. Knuckles on that. Good find.
Well, the thing that was amazing to me was just how early the Cubs had gone over 100 runs on their run differential. Scott Server's going to make a pitching change.
Vidal Nuno will face the left-hand hitting Pedro Alvarez. 2 outs. Trumbo at first base. Vincent done for the day. The Mariners leading things by 4. Seventh, 5-1 Mariners. This is the final game of the series here in Baltimore. You can take a look curbside of Camden Yards. It'll be a pretty early arrival, all things considered, in Cincinnati. Going to Great American Ballpark, or Great American Small Park, as they like to call it in the National League. The ball really flies out to the river in right field. You can see it there. A beautiful ballpark. We were there back in 2013 for interleague play. Take a look at our CenturyLink What's Next pitching matchups. It'll be Hisashi Iwakuma taking the hill tomorrow on the air at 3:30 Pacific time. Felix will go on Saturday against John Lamb. Wade Miley looking to back up a very strong start here in game 1 of this series. 6 scoreless, just 2 hits. We'll take on Alfredo Simon, having a rough start this season, the former Detroit Tiger. Here is Vidal Nuno.
15 appearances for Nuno. He's pitched well, a 1.42 ERA.
1 ball and 1 strike to Pedro Alvarez. Just barely missed a home run back in the 2nd. It turned out to be a run-scoring double off the wall that brought in Scope from first base. Alvarez popped up to Clevenger his last time up. Now to play to make it 1-2. know, Mike, speaking of run differential, the most baffling one this year in baseball, even I think more incredible than the Cubs in some ways. The Phillies, who are supposed to be tanking, are a game out of first place in the East. They're 24-17. They've won 24 games, Mike, with a negative 28 run differential. I don't know how those numbers come out to make for 24 wins.
I don't either.
Now, they've got a better record than the Mets right now. They're knocking on the Nationals' door.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be down there where Atlanta is right now.
Absolutely. Their closer, Jimar Gomez, has the most saves in baseball. He's got 16 saves. Here comes a 3-2. Big swing and a miss. Nuno out of the bullpen, asked to get Alvarez. He does exactly that. Trumbo stranded at first base. We're through 7. Mariners leading 5-1. All right, thank you, Angie. Glad to have everybody along for the broadcast here today as Cano leads off the top of the 8th inning. A double and a run scored. His last at bat came of the 6th. Cano leading all of baseball in RBIs entering today with 36. And he's ahead now 3-0.
We've talked about it a number of times, but I'll be curious to see if Cincinnati's going to shift on him like Baltimore has.
Cano taking the whole way still as a statue, 3-1. Can you remember a team, whether it be this year or even in years past, with a full 3-man swing on the right side for Cano?
No. I've seen the shortstop shade towards the middle of the diamond, but not a real shift as they're in right now. And he's having a good series, but he has a number of base hits going the other way.
When you consider the fact that the Mariners share the division with the team that shifts basically more than anybody else in the Houston Astros, and we haven't seen Houston do it. Now the Orioles are very familiar with Robbie.
Yeah, and also everything he's hit to left field has been in the air. It's just interesting. We normally we don't see it. We see it with Kyle and Seth all the time, but rarely with Cano.
We have seen them shift crews as well. Count stays put, 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is still Dylan Bundy. He took over for Tyler Wilson, today's starter. Well, the Mariners came into today's rubber game having not lost a road series on the season. They are in position, at least at this point, to keep that streak alive. Spins him around. Cano down swinging. 1 up, 1 down. Well, we hope to see you at the ballpark on May 29th, Sunday versus the Twins. It'll be a 1:10 first pitch. You can pick up your Nelson Cruz wristbands. So we hope to see you at Safeco Field. Brought to you by Aquafina.
Benoit getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
It'll be his first appearance since coming off the disabled list. That was back at the start of this series. Davis curling underneath it, straddling the line, and Cruz is out number 2.
Nice to have him back.
That really changes things.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting Tony Zick back as well. Charlie Furbush. A longer road for Charlie. Needs to essentially have spring training all over again. 2 up, 2 down, and now it's Kyle Seager's turn. Seager has reached on an error, was intentionally walked, and scored on that 3-run homer by Adam Lind.
Talking about Charlie basically needing to start as he would at the beginning of spring training. I had to laugh this spring when Scott Service was talking about Benoit, saying he was probably only going to get 7 or 8 appearances in the spring. He didn't need a lot to get ready for the season, and mentioning that to Benoit, he laughed. He said, "That many?" So you knew.
Let's take the under.
You knew once he was healthy, it wasn't going to take him any time at all to get back with the club.
2 outs, the base is empty for Seager. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Seager behind in the count here, but you consider this. He's had 11 plate appearances in this series. Leading up to this one right here, he has made 3 outs. See what he can do behind in the count. Strikes out swinging, and the Mariners are tired in order for the 2nd straight inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It'll be a long time since we've seen Joaquin Benoit. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by Jack in the Box, taste the Bacon-licious sourdough bacon ranch combo only at Jack in the Box. Good look there at Fort McHenry. It was on a boat where Francis Scott Key, just outside Fort McHenry, wrote the Star Spangled Banner. So a little bit of history here in Baltimore. Beautiful shot. This has been our nicest day without question here in this series in Baltimore. Is Joaquin Benoit, Mike, back up on the mound, making just his 6th appearance.
Yeah, only 5 appearances, a 1-0 record, a 3.60 ERA. In 5 innings, he has 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. Opponent's hitting just 118 against him. Fastball will be right around 94 miles an hour. Mix in a slider with it.
And it's been almost exactly a month. April 21st, the last time Benoit pitched. That was against the Indians in Cleveland. The 1-0. Matt Wieters getting the day off today. Wieters has had a pretty nice series, especially last night. Wieters 3 extra base hits. Scored twice, drove in 2. So not a shame to see Wieters out of the lineup today for Buck Showalter. Joseph 0 for 2, ground ball out and a fly out. As they tilt over to the left for Joseph, a right-handed hitter. Now Benoit has been around for a long time. In fact, he was an old teammate of Charlie Furbush's when they were together in Detroit. Benoit having some really nice seasons in San Diego the last 2 years before coming to the Mariners. Long time with the Texas Rangers. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Joseph. In fact, when the Tigers needed him to fill in as closer back in 2013, Benoit picked up nearly 25 saves. And it seems as though he has just gotten better with age by and large, especially those last 2 seasons in San Diego. A sub-2 ERA those 2 years combined. It can be kind of tough, Mike, when you judge a bullpen or relievers in particular. If you look at just ERA, a swing here and a swing there can change your ERA from a 2.19 to a 5. You look at Benoit's numbers those 2 seasons in San Diego. He had a whip below 1. So judging basically just the amount of hitters or base runners that he allowed per inning. So that's a good sign. Didn't give up a whole lot of homers. It seems like keeping guys off the bases and keeping guys in the yard, 2 big parts of being a successful reliever at this level.
I would agree. What do you think about inherited runners?
That's huge. That seems to be, that's the golden ticket, it seems like, for every reliever. What they talk about so much is a good start for Benoit. Pitching to the big leagues for the first time in nearly a month as he gets Caleb Joseph swinging and missing.
After a number of high fastballs, able to put him away with a good slider off the plate. Able to get him to chase it.
Well, make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out the top 5 fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Refresherator just for participating. For official rules, just visit rootsports.com. One out, Flaherty looks at ball 1. Flaherty 0 for 2 on the day, struck out looking It was the last batter that Nathan Carnes faced. Mike, what do you think today on Carnes? This was not his most spectacular start. However, 5 innings, 1 run, was able to keep the Mariners in the ball game and was helped out by some timely offense.
I didn't think that he had his dominant fastball that we've seen in his last couple of outings. Again, he was right around 92 miles an hour. But I thought overall he's pretty good. One of the things that I always do is going into a series, especially when the guys are traveling on the road, is one, I consider the ballpark, and two, the lineup. As you take a look at the line for Carnes, I think if you factor those 2 things in, and again, 89 pitches, they probably could have gotten 1 more inning out of him if they wanted to. Again, we'll see what Scott Servais says after the game, but I thought overall he threw well. Tough ballpark to pitch in, and a very good offensive club. So I thought he did just fine. Good curveball today.
Yeah, he did. A lot of his strikeouts came with the curveball. Two and two. In fact, if you look at the strikeouts today from Carnes, his first strikeout to Rickard to begin the ball game came on the hook. Like Mike, as I look over the scorecard here, I think it basically all came on the curveball.
Well, it's with him. If you look at him this year, with 2 strikes, he throws his curveball more than any of the other pitches. His fastball is close, but still more curveballs than fastballs in those situations.
You got Davis with the fastball to lead off the second. It might have been a changeup to Flaherty. If you want to split hairs on it in the 5th to get him looking to end things. Flaherty, a left-handed hitter, so it makes sense. A good chance there to use the changeup, but overall, really good stuff in terms of the strikeouts yet again, in particular for Carnes today.
And you take a look at when he uses this curveball again, he throws it quite a bit. And ground ball, yeah, throw the curveball. Why not? Almost 50%. Strikeouts, you can see almost pushing 60%. And we saw a lot of that today.
Benoit has run the count full to Flaherty, the number 9 hitting right fielder. And a 1-out walk. Now we know that Scott Servais and Jerry Dipoto, the mantra this year, control the zone. We think of that a lot of times from an offensive standpoint, not swinging at pitches that are outside the strike zone, but it certainly pertains to Mariners pitchers as well. That's the first walk issued today by a Mariners pitcher. One thing you don't want to do against this lineup in this ballpark, put some free guys on the base paths, especially with the big bats when they come up. 1 out and 1 on for Rickard.
And that will be true for the guys when they go into Cincinnati as well. Stay away from the walks.
That ball flies to right field in Cincinnati. Oh, 0-2. It has turned out to be a beautiful day here in Baltimore. We were held down by rain, or at least cloudy skies, in each of the first 2 games. Mariners were fortunate to be able to get game 1 in. There was some question as to whether or not that would happen, or at least if it would start on time, which it did. Really no rain yesterday, or at least not much rain. A lot of clouds all day and all night last night. Line drive over Marte. Flaherty gets pushed into second base, and Rickard a 1-out single. So Benoit now working with 2 on and 1 out, about to face the teeth of the order.
Tough customer, Machado. You take a look at the last pitch, 92-mile-an-hour fastball in the middle of the plate. Machado 1 for 3 with a double down the left field corner. Dangerous hitter. Came into the game hitting .318 with 11 home runs. Nobody getting loose in the Mariner pen.
You speak to how good he has been this year. There have been 6 players so far in baseball this season to hit at least 10 home runs while maintaining an average of at least 300, and 3 of them are in the game today. 2 on the Orioles side. Machado is one, Trumbo is the other, and of course Robinson Cano. Two and nothing. Well, this turned, when it started rather, this was looking like a fairly low leverage situation and a really good situation for Benoit, facing batters 8-9-1, a 4-run lead. His first time on the mound here in the majors in about a month. He's being activated from the disabled list, but this is now suddenly turning into one that is creating some stressful pitches for Benoit with the tying run on deck.
Scott Service would like to see a double play ball too, because you also have to remember, coming off the disabled list, his first outing right now, and you have to watch his pitch count. Nobody getting loose in the pen, but he's at 19 pitches, 11 strikes so far.
That was close. Jones the tying run. He has been held hitless in this series. Benoit's 3-0. A 4-pitch walk. The bases are loaded. The tying run is coming up. And now Steve Cishek beginning to loosen up.
Just starting to throw out in the pen. Now Stottlemyre going to make a trip out to the mound, have a conversation, and buy some time for Steve to get loose in the bullpen. Again, Benoit's first outing and struggling with his command. 21 pitches, 11 strikes.
It seemed as though this would be a day, regardless of the score in the 9th inning, where we could have a strong chance of seeing Steve Cishek. It's been so long since he's pitched, especially coming off the sour taste of a blown save against the Angels at home. But now it's looking like he might have to, well, pitch for real, for lack of a better term.
And maybe pitch more than they wanted him to. I think he was going to pitch the 9th inning regardless, but he looks like he's trying to get loose in a hurry.
Now here is a test for Benoit and a story for Adam Jones. Jones has gone 0 for 10 so far in this series. The Mariners have done a fine job holding him down. He came in pretty hot. He had an 8-game hitting streak snapped in game 1. He comes to the plate with the bases loaded, and Adam Jones representing the tying run in the bottom of the 8th inning. Double play sends this to the 9th. Checks his swing. They appeal. He does not go.
Looks like it's a slider off the plate. Sam Holbrook, first base umpire, saying that he did not go.
Getting a little tense here from Camden Yards. In play, soft ground ball. Marte having a hustle. He'll go to first base. Only play. And the Mariners happy to give up a run to gain an out. Low
Low sinking fastball, probably out of the strike zone. Adam Jones helping him out. Good play by Marte.
Machado in at second base. Rickard now at third. And in steps Chris Davis. Strike one.
Pretty good split.
Davis this year has done the majority of his damage to right-handed pitching. Scott Service has already used Vidal Nuno. He got Nuno to face Alvarez to end the seventh. Mike Montgomery, the other lefty in the bullpen for the Mariners. Mike, last night 2 innings of relief, so
probably not available today.
Likely not. Cishek still getting loose. So it is Benoit, the right-hander, to face Crush Davis, the powerful left-handed hitter, representing the tie-in run. And a weak wave again. Benoit, a one-out walk, then a single, and then a walk. 3 straight base runners. 3 straight hitters reaching before the ground ball out from Jones. Benoit now 1 pitch away from sending this game to the 9th. Is 1-2. Well outside and low. Now we can see where he's trying to keep the ball here facing Davis.
Either on the corner or off the plate away. Probably a good idea with that short porch and right. Keep it away from him.
Two on, 2 out, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here it comes. Just gets a piece. That time went upstairs with it.
They've thrown him the fastball in this series, and they've done a good job against him. They've thrown him the high fastball. You see by that swing, he has a loop in his swing. Anything down, he can hurt you.
This will be pitch number 29 for Benoit here in the 8th inning. No doubt more than Scott Service was hoping that he would have to use. The 2-2. Clubbed out to center. Martin has well enough space. Able to make the catch. And Joaquin Benoit gives up a run, but for the most part gets out of the jam. He strands 2 in scoring position. We are off to the 9th. Mariners up by 3. We go to the top of the 9th inning, and on Sunday, May 22nd, join Seattle Seahawks Jermaine Kearse, John Ryan, and Cooper Helfett as well, many more guests as well. And will be a part of the All-Star Softball Classic at Safeco Field. Your ticket will help at-risk youth win the battle for their future. Grab your All-Star Classic tickets now at uwkc.org. Kids under 14 are free. Some long relief for Dylan Bundy as he faces Adam Lind to begin the top of the 9th inning.
Adam with the big hit in this game, 3-run home run back in the 6th inning.
Opposite field home run for Lind. You know, Mike, at the time you were saying that for Lind's sake and for the Mariners' sake as well, hopefully that'll be the one swing to really get things going. Did you find that when you had a situation like that where maybe you weren't going as well as you knew that you could be, which is very applicable to what we've seen from Adam Lind so far this year, that when you had that one big blast as we saw from Lind, was it more of a you found something in your swing that felt right to duplicate, or is it more between the ears?
I think that it's more confidence, feeling good about getting the ball on the barrel of the bat and moving forward from there.
Seeing the ball,
I mean,
he's
obviously he's putting in a lot of work and trying to get this thing in the right direction. And for players, there might be a minor adjustment here and there, but I think just the feeling of it, and then you feel like, okay, let's get this thing moving now.
Good things can happen.
Good things can happen. That's why, especially when you're a guy, and you mentioned the numbers with him, what he's done against right-handed pitching in his career, you hit those home runs in bunches. That's typically the way it goes, and you hope this is one of those times where he's going to get hot.
Gets jammed a little bit out to Adam Jones. Out number 1. One out, nobody on top of the Mariners. 9th inning, 5-2. Mariners on top, looking for a series win. They won game 1 behind Wade Miley. And the offense. Cano, Cruz, and Seager drove in all 10 runs. 10-0, a whitewashing of the Orioles in game 1 last night. Baltimore winning 5-2 behind Chris Tillman, their starting pitcher.
You know, and even talking about Adam, I was asked yesterday about him and playing time and all that. You have to run him out there against righties and trust that what he's done in his career he's going to get back at, because if he does, he can carry your ball club. He can carry your club for a month with the kind of damage that he can do. And so it's worth having some patience.
And the bottom line too is that he's not going to get it figured out on the bench.
Right, exactly. No, you have to run him up there.
The 1-1 to Clevenger, the former Oriole, into center field. Out there to Jones. Been busy today. Two outs and nobody aboard for Marte, who was walked and reached on an infield base hit, his last at bat. Bundy has sat down the last 7 in a row. One thing that's been pretty noticeable this year, Mike, Scott Service has had, by and large, a pretty stamped lineup on a day-to-day basis, especially as we see against a lot of right-handed pitchers that we will see all month. It's on the last homestand, if you project it out, it was going to be like 17 of the next 19 starters were going to be right-handed, and this lineup has not varied. That has to be nice for the guys.
It's great for the guys. They love it.
In between, it splits Rickard and Jones, and Marte quickly into second base standing. And that look easy. Marte, a 2-hit day. He's reached 3 times.
I think there are a couple of things, Aaron, in that even the platoon situations, it's there. They all know how that's going to work and when they're going to play. As you take a look at the swing by Marte, his second base hit. But I think you look at your club and you have to have guys that are durable and stay healthy and are in the lineup. Well, after what Cano went through last year, you know he's going to be out there. Kyle plays every day. Nelson Cruz is in the lineup every day. Looks like Martin is going to be the same type of player. It makes it a lot easier.
Martino walking a single today ahead of the count 1-0. As Buck Showalter now has activity in the bullpen. Brian Mattis beginning to loosen up. Next pitch will be number 40 for Bundy.
Mariners 3 for 5 runners in scoring position.
A lift out to right field. Flaherty back, and it's right off the top hit of the seats. Another home run for Leonys Martin. His second home run in as many days, and it comes with 2 outs and a man in second base in the 9th inning. Now the lead extended 7-2 in the 9th inning.
And in this ballpark against the Orioles lineup, these are 2 big runs for the Mariners. If you take a look at the swing by Martin, his second home run in the series, 7 home runs on the year at the quarter mark. You look at Flaherty, got a little bit too close to the wall. That certainly helped Martin and the Mariners. Not sure he would have been able to get to it anyway. Looked like it hit in the middle of that roof.
Aoki after the first pitch, right above our heads. Well, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Mike. For the Mariners in this series now, 5 home runs, and 4 of them come with at least 1 runner at first base, or runner on the bases, I should say.
Yeah.
Ruled a strike. 0-2. It was the double by Marte which extended this top of the 9th inning and allowed Martin to come to the plate. Rickard in left field, angling and making the catch. The Mariners get a couple of insurance runs here in the top of the 9th inning. Martin, home run number 7, as the Mariners lead it by 5 to Steve Cishek. Would be his league leading 12th save of the year before Martin goes deep for the second time in as many games. By the way, that was the first home run Dylan Bundy had allowed this season. So no more save try. Mariners have a much.
I think the Mariners will take the extra runs.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think Cishek would say the same thing. But Martin has reached base 3 times today, a walk, a single, and a 2-run homer. Nice way to end his series here in Baltimore. Getting set for Cincinnati. Trumbo stares at a strike.
18 appearances for him, a 3.10 ERA, 23 strikeouts and 20 1/3. Opponents hitting 197 off of Steve. His fastball 91-93. Has the big slider and a changeup. Typically we use a changeup to the left-handers.
Some good success and limited number of at-bats against Cishek. Pretty notable as a right-handed hitter, especially. 2-1. Evens things up. Good fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trumbo leading off the bottom of the 9th inning.
Good pitch.
Oof. Right where he wanted it. There's a strike. Borderline pitch again, this time ruled strike 3.
Well, Mark didn't like it, but it's a fastball. 91 at the bottom of the strike zone.
One up, one down. In steps Jonathan Scope. Like we were starting to make mention of the fact that it seemed like for Scott Service it was a priority regardless of the score today to get Cishek in there, especially coming off the blown save on the homestand against the Angels. A couple of blown saves. More than anything, just to get back on the mound. It's been a while for Cishek.
Well, one, he needs to pitch, and two, I think that most relievers that I know, when they have a rough outing, they want to get right back out there again so that they can put it behind them. And I don't think Steve would be any different than that. In fact, he said that before we left the homestand, that he wanted to pitch right away again. So so I think he was going to pitch this inning regardless.
The ball goes foul past Seager. It's been a pretty quiet day defensively for Kyle.
Yes, it has. And when you look at Steve and you talk about some of his struggles, the game where he blew the save, came back, ended up getting the win, and then the 2 blown saves. For me, it wasn't his stuff. It was just a location. And what I mean by that is, like right there on that pitch, set up away on the outside corner. He missed his spot, but he missed off the plate. And a couple times he was hurt because where he was missing was middle in.
Back-to-back strikeouts.
And that's something that somebody like Steve, that can be corrected. His stuff is the same. Everything's the same. It's just the location. And this is another really good pitch. Slider wants to throw it off the outside corner, get him to chase it, and he's able to do that. But this league is tough sometimes. Pitchers make mistakes, and you get away with them. Sometimes you don't. And sometimes you don't get away with them a couple days in a row, and that's what happened to Steve.
Orioles down to their final out. It is Pedro Alvarez. All right, Mike, let's look big picture at this series. Yes. Mariners coming to town fresh off an off day after being swept at home by the Angels. Angels had not been playing all that well. They come to Baltimore. The Orioles, the best team at home in baseball this season. And the Mariners are an out away from taking 2 games out of 3, a series win, and the only loss against their best starting pitcher, Chris Tillman, last night. This could not have gotten much better for the Mariners.
No, I would agree with that. And I think that's what they expect to do, to come in here and win this series. And they're in pretty good shape. Again, Steve's throwing the ball well. I think offensively they really did a nice job swinging the bats. It's good to see Martin hit a couple of home runs. Guys in the middle of the lineup have done it, but you look at the scorecard today, bottom of the lineup productive, top of the lineup productive.
Cano deep for out number 3, and the Mariners have a series win against the first place Baltimore Orioles from inside Camden Yards as they improve now to 23-17 on the season.
Nathan Karns 4-1 now. That's good to see. I thought he threw the ball well today. Only 5 innings. Again, I think they could have got an extra one in Martin. Good to see him on base 3 times today, including that home run.
On to Cincinnati from here after a series win. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. It starts right now with Angie and Bill, guys.